Hi everyone, this is Key with keysblog.com, otherwise known as Lynn Thomas from Streamwood, Illinois. Welcome everyone. I want to talk a little bit about code words and the way the media uses them and the way they tippy-toe around what's really going on. They don't identify things by their real names. The left's war on the military has evidences itself in so many ways with their attack on military recruitment centers and their attack on guys like Jack Adema, who've really been fighting the war on terror and have been relentlessly attacked as a result. You can also see examples of it by taking a look at heroes of the past like Gary Linderer and the assaults that he's been under. There have been a couple of really good reporting done by Euphoric Reality. The two projects that I can think of off the top of my head that I really admired were the ones on Ilario Pantano done by Kit, and then the other one by Kit and Heidi together on Gary Linderer and what happened during Vietnam. The left's attack on the military at home makes itself evident even more by their encouragement of conscientious objection, a la Ward Churchill. And you can also follow that by taking a look at reports of enlisted men fragging their superior officers. In the case of Jack Adema, these people have tried desperately to discredit not only what he was doing, but the Al-Qaeda tapes. And as an aside, I find it very weird that the American people would idolize a fellow like Jack Adema, or no, like Jack Bauer, who's a fictional character, but then leave somebody like Jack Adema totally out there in the cold. I suppose it's safer to admire a fictional character rather than a flesh and blood person who's fighting Islamic terrorism, but I think the American people ought to get with the program. Nationwide, there are hundreds of small organizations involved in a counter-recruitment movement aimed at destroying our fighting force by eliminating or slowing down the possibility of recruitment. The strategies are based on those of prominent traditional pacifist groups, which to the uninformed person, of course, sounds perfectly reasonable, right? Pacifism, though, to me, is the opiate of the people. Pacifism does not really represent peace if you take a look at what these organizations are and what they represent. Almost all of these pacifist organizations are directed by a handful of well-established social justice and peace groups with long histories of anti-U.S., pro-communist, and pro-totalitarian alignments and agendas. All the larger pacifist and radical groups work with each other, with the smaller groups and with the legal left to coordinate what amounts to a broad national movement. At the movement's forefront are the radical groups Code Pink for Peace, United for Peace and Justice, the Ruckus Society, the Campus Anti-War Network, and the Society of American Law Teachers. These groups coordinate with four major pacifist organizations with long histories of anti-U.S. pro-communist activities: the Central Committee for Conscientious Objectors, the American Friends Service Committee, Veterans for Peace, and the War Resisters League. In September of 2002, a group called Not in Our Name posted an ad in the New York Times. The ad said the United States would not invade Iraq in their name. The activists, as noted at Front Page magazine, were really socialists, Maoists, Stalinists, Leninists, Marxists, and communists. However, the mainstream media doesn't identify them as such. They preferred to call them activists. Clever, huh? Know your mainstream media code words. The media never seems to inform the public of the origins of so-called liberal organizations. The same journalists who stress that certain groups are related to the NRA or get their funds from the Christian Coalition will never mention the relationship of a liberal organization with communist groups, even if such organizations are labeled as terrorists by the FBI. I find that astonishing. Taken all together, you can see that these people are not even remotely interested in peace as you and I would define it. There are those who legitimately believe that our government is incorrect, and for those who do, they're entitled to criticize our government because they're dissenters. Americans can dissent from the government, but these people have been conned by communist propaganda. They've been manipulated by the patina of morality used by the communists to mask their cause and make it seem noble and altruistic. The communists appeal to their sanctimony. I'm sorry, but liberals are the self-righteous, led by the self-important for the benefit of the self-serving. This is Key with keysblog.com, and those are the facts.